Reason for adultery. In love there is a great boundary that does not limit love. It puts it within certain limits. A great boundary between love and sexual intercourse, in which a new life can be originate. This connection can only occur in marriage. A young person who has reached physical maturity must already have a formed conscience, which must contain the following principle of family life. The principle of observing the marriage contract. The second principle of observing the great sacred boundary between love and sexual intercourse outside of marriage. Only then will such principle become a conviction, when a person will hate such an act that will cause him contempt and disgust. And this is possible only if this is present in the mechanism of conscience. There are two aspects of observing this strict moral rule that are associated with certain difficulties. When a person has not yet entered into marital relations, and when he is already married. For clarity, I note that marriages can be official, registered in state or religious bodies, or so-called civil, which do not have material obligations to each other, but they are also marriages. Children are also born in them. It seems to me that so-called civil marriages should also be registered in some way. The first aspect is related to how to solve problems with sexual tension before marriage. There is a lot of talk about its solution in other media. I have often observed such families in which the first child was born from another partner. The second aspect is related to the difficulties that arise in marriage. Each spouse has a separate worldview, different temperament, different health, and from time to time hormones play, blood boils. The appearance of love and its disappearance does not depend on the person himself. Love is one of the most important values in human life, just like freedom and material wealth. Sometimes I am ashamed to look at the internet. It is filled with a lot of information about casual sexual intercourse. Spouse cheating. It has happened to many. Remember your past. No one is to blame. That is harmonies at play. They were often stronger than us. Later, as we get older, when the hormones subside, we will painfully recall the worst aspect of our past youth. And don't think about fighting love, hormones. Nothing will work. You can and should only direct them into certain frameworks. Those frameworks are called morality, science, religion. That is, in a timely manner, or rather in advance, it is necessary to form consciousness, which passes into the subconscious, and it's then called conscience. How conscience is formed? The laws of its formation were set out earlier in my blog, Formation of Conscience, Secret of the Formation of Conscience. It is important that deep in the conscience a great boundary has already been formed, a great boundary between love and sexual intercourse, during which a new life can be created. a great boundary that cannot be crossed outside of marriage. It is impossible to adhere to this boundary without solving the problems that arise before the couple. I have already made some suggestions on how to avoid gross mistakes before marriage. Let us consider the contradictions that may arise after marriage due to different temperament and different strength. How to appease the rich, later holy love, because love is always holy. Those who cannot appease it within their family find a way out in deception, in adultery. Love cannot exist alongside or together with deception. True love cannot be deceived. It simply disappears. Reconciliation remains, but family love is gone. Only reconciliation and pain remain. Deceivers carry a lot of dishonesty, debt, and disease with them. I have described 6 laws of love, which I will explain in the following blocks. The morality of today's society is already rooted in deception. Therefore, even when there is no deception at all, there remains a hidden suspicion of each other, which manifests itself in painful bouts of jealousy, and jealousy further destroys the remnants of love. Look at how many families in our society live without true love. Too many. Women do not love their husbands. Men do not love their wives. Often there is a lot of dissatisfaction with family life. This should not be, and hence there are many divorces. How many divorced families? The breakdown of a family creates psychological trauma for children. Raising in a family in which there is no true love contributes to the inferior mental and sexual upbringing of children. Modern morality condemns adultery and divorce, but it does not offer ways to resolve natural contradictions, ways to preserve eternal true love, and therefore morality often forgives adultery. Repent, and all will be forgiven. Suspicion and jealousy remain, but love is no longer there, or there is very little and not enough of it left. Recurrences of deception are already embedded in the very morality of a free society. It often leaves the family the role of an appendage to its freedom. Love and freedom are equally important things and cannot be subordinated to each other. It is necessary to resolve the contradictions in the family that exist between love and freedom. Here one of the most important solutions is proposed, which find a place in human life under the name of polygamy. Patriarchy has existed in history, but it has not resolved all the contradictions discussed earlier. I believe that for true freedom, men and women must have real, not declared, equality. Of course, gender equality has its difficulties. In some communities, male polygamy is combined with the lack of full freedom for women. Some individuals seek romantic adventures on the side, because often family life becomes gray, mundane. There are no romantic fantasies, there are no original holidays, dedicated to flowers, theater, travels, dances. Some dreams of staying in a halo of fame for at least a while, or of feeling their significance, having touched the system of power, or finally, of being enveloped in respect which was previously lacking. But the main reason for cheating in families is the lack of official permission for polygamy in society. The family is the center where love can develop most brightly. There is everything necessary for its development: separate housing, concentrated material goods, children, a unique spiritual world that meets the needs of family members, a small center of culture and nation. Thank you for your attention. I hope you will wait for my next blogs.